Prepare to unleash your darkest fears with Prime Video's top 10 scary horror movies. From heart-pounding scares to twisted tales of terror, these disturbing selections will haunt your dreams. Number 10. Spel.
This is for your own good.
Marquis T. Woods is a successful attorney flying home to rural Appalachia for his father's funeral when a violent storm forces his small plane off course. He crashes, awakens alone and injured, only to discover he's trapped in the attic of Ms. Eloise, a mysterious woodswoman claiming she can heal him using dark hoodoo magic. As she cares for his wounds, Marquis realizes that Eloise is weaving a sinister ritual. She's made a voodoo doll from his blood, skin, and personal effects. Every escape attempt, every plea for help is thwarted by occult bindings, eerie isolation, and the rising power of folk magic under the looming blood moon. Spel unfolds as a claustrophobic witch horror, where ancient curses and modern pride collide in a fight not just for survival, but for redemption and the soul of family. Number 9. Unseen.
Getting murdered today.
He's here.
Oh no, I see him. I'm gonna have to find another phone.
Sam, a despondent gas station clerk, takes an odd phone call. It's from Emily, a nearly blind woman running for her life through dark woods, chased by her menacing ex. With her glasses broken, Emily can barely see, but she calls Sam from a missed call and begs for help. Using video chat, Sam becomes Emily's eyes, guiding her over rough terrain, assisting in dire moments, each step weighed down by fear, isolation, and unpredictable danger. As Sam and Emily connect through shared trauma, one with regret over her mother's death, the other fighting to live, the tension ratchets up with every wrong turn, physical injury, and moment of self-doubt. Unseen is a tight, emotional horror thriller that twists the idea of connection and helplessness into a visceral, skin-crawling escape. Number 8. We Are Still Here.
30 years or so, the goddamn place just wakes up! And it demands new blood!
Anne and Paul Sacchetti are reeling from the death of their teenage son, Bobby. Hoping to heal, they relocate to a remote New England house in 1979, but the house has more than cold drafts and creaking floorboards. Strange voices, flickering lights, and an inexplicable presence awaken Anne's belief that Bobby still lingers in ghostly form. Their doubts deepen when spectral horrors, occult rituals, and vengeful spirits tied to a gruesome past begin stalking them. As Anne invites spiritualist friends into the fold, the Sacchettis discover the house was once built by the Dagmar family as a funeral home, and that every 30 years the evil beneath must feed, or it will spill its darkness across the town. Number 7. My heart can't beat unless you tell it to.
Would you like to play a game?
Wait!
I don't want to be sick.
Thomas is a frail, isolated young man with a mysterious affliction. He can't survive outside the darkness and depends on fresh human blood to endure. His older siblings, Jesse and Dwight, are his caretakers. And to keep him alive, Dwight prowls the night hunting people on society's fringes, while Jesse manages the home life and keeps the morbid balance intact. But the burden of this gruesome necessity begins to strain their love, their sanity, and even Thomas himself, who yearns for connection beyond the shadows. As Dwight questions whether he can continue his nightly hunts, Jesse resists change, fearful that letting go or seeking help would condemn Thomas to death. Number 6. Becky.
More than that.
Becky! You're clearly a special girl!
I don't want to have to hurt you.
But I do want her.
13-year-old Becky Hopper is trying to heal after her mother's death and distant from her father, Jeff. A father-daughter weekend at their lake house is meant as a chance to reconnect, until a van of violent escaped neo-Nazis led by Dominic crashes into their lives, aiming to retrieve a strange key Becky found in the woods. What begins as a home invasion spirals into an all-out bloodbath. Becky becomes both prey and hunter, using whatever she can find: colored pencils, house tools, woodland traps, to defend herself and her makeshift family. Becky turns a quiet, grief-filled vacation into a savage relentlessness horror thriller, where the innocence of youth clashes with brutal evil at every twist. Number 5. Men.
Guilt.
Stay away from me.
Harper Marlowe, recently widowed under tragic and troubling circumstances, seeks solitude from her grief by renting a remote countryside house in the village of Kotzen. Hoping for rest, she instead begins encountering peculiar men in the area, all played by the same face, Rory Kinnear. In moments of church sermons, pub conversations, and midnight walks through forests and tunnels, each version of this man reflects a twisted echo of Harper's trauma, guilt, and fear. As the boundary between psychological torment and supernatural folk horror blurs, Harper must confront not only her memories of her relationship with her late husband, but the deeper, more ancient dread woven into the land itself. Men is a surreal exploration of loss, identity, and the echo chamber of masculinity that clings when you most need escape. Number 4, Crawl.
Now.
I'm not leaving you here.
Haley Keller is a competitive college swimmer who races against time when a Category 5 hurricane barrels down on her Florida hometown. Ignoring evacuation orders, she ventures back to check on her estranged father, Dave, only to find him gravely injured and trapped in the crawl space under their family home. As floodwaters rise and the storm's fury intensifies, they soon discover they're not alone. Gigantic alligators lurk beneath the waters, turning every corridor, basement, and darkened room into a gauntlet. Haley must use her physical strength, instincts, and emotional resilience to save both her father and herself, even as the house becomes a cage. Directed by Alexandra Aja, Crawl is a high-stakes natural horror survival story that pits human vulnerability against ruthless nature, built on tension, claustrophobia, and the raw terror of being hunted when the rescue seems impossible. Number 3, The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Whoa, no, it's a man. When do I get to be right about something?
In the remote Utah ski town of Snow Hollow, a series of gruesome murders of women shakes the community, each occurring around the full moon, each more disturbing than the last. Deputy John Marshall, an emotionally worn and alcoholic lawman, is dragged into the case as rumors spiral that something supernatural may be behind the killings. Battling his own inner demons, addiction, estranged family ties, and mounting pressure from his aging sheriff father, John tries to piece together whether the monster is real, or if the real horror is the darkness within the human heart. The film blends folklore, mystery, and slasher-style horror into a chilling character study. Its unique tone comes from its uneasy balance of coming of rage, cosmic dread, and gritty personal decay, where fear isn't just from outside but inside the mirror as well. Number 2, The House of the Devil. Samantha Hughes is a penniless college student in the early 1980s who, desperate for cash, answers an ad for a babysitting job in an isolated mansion. She arrives late at night, driven there by her skeptical friend Megan, to meet the eerie Ullman family who offer her a large sum to watch over an elderly woman. Samantha soon realizes things are far more sinister than she expected. Strange sounds, locked rooms, odd family photos, and shadowy figures begin to emerge. As the full moon and a lunar eclipse rise, Samantha becomes ensnared in a terrifying satanic ritual, struggling to survive the cult's horrific plans. The film is a slow burn terror piece, rooted in atmosphere and 80s occult panic. Number 1, we need to talk about Kevin.
Just a sweet little boy. That's what boys do.
Eva Kachadurian was a successful travel writer, independent and free, until she becomes the mother of Kevin, a boy from birth whose silence, cruelty, and detachment grow into something deeply unsettling. As Kevin refuses affection, torments his younger sister, and isolates his father in loyalty, Eva's attempts to connect, discipline, or understand him only seem to feed his darkness. The narrative weaves between past and present, the early signs of Kevin's hostility, strained family interactions, Eva's growing dread, and a devastating event that forces her to reckon with what she's raised. The film is a harrowing psychological drama where the true horror lies not in supernatural forces but in the human mind's capacity for cruelty, guilt, and regret. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Body Cam. After a routine traffic stop ends in a gruesome, inexplicable death, a police officer uncovers disturbing footage that points to supernatural forces. As more officers are targeted, the mystery deepens into a tale of vengeance from beyond the grave. The haunting connects personal loss with a hidden truth buried in the department's past, the fog. On the eve of Antonio Bay's 100th anniversary, a ghostly fog rolls in, carrying the vengeful spirits of mariners wronged by the town's founders. As the fog spreads, strange occurrences and brutal deaths follow. A group of locals must uncover the town's dark history before the past consumes them. The Innkeepers. Two employees at a dying inn decide to investigate the ghost stories tied to the building's tragic past. What starts as a playful experiment quickly spirals into terror as one of them makes contact with something truly malevolent. The line between curiosity and danger blurs as the hotel reveals its final secrets. Waxwork. When a group of teens visits a mysterious wax museum, they find that each exhibit is more than a display. It's a portal into a living nightmare. One by one, they're pulled into horrific worlds based on classic monsters. Escaping becomes a race against time and the supernatural.